Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
More debt ceiling drama this morning. Some have suggested minting a $1 trillion coin. I'm Lindsay Watts in Washington. Coming up, more on the options on the table.
Outside with live cam, tons of humidity, maybe a little bit of fog out there, especially at ground level due to the rains we had in the area yesterday. Mike is still talking a wet weekend over many days and potentially some flooding rains. We'll talk to him in just a sec. Good morning, everybody. We made it to Wednesday. It's May 10th.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good week so far, and you may be able to dodge the rain. It's kind of been on and off here in the area.
Yeah, right now seems to be a lull, and I believe Mike is going to tell us that there is still a bullseye on part of the weekend, right?
Right, and I think it's especially going to be overnight Friday, Saturday, first half of the day, still some heavy rain, but I think early in Saturday is really going to be the brunt of some of the heaviest rain, especially in parts of the hill country. But for the short term time being, we're sort of in the calm between the storms. We had some pretty good rain around the area. Yesterday, I was coming back from Castroville, and boy, oh boy, it was coming down in buckets. Now, off to the east, we've still got some very heavy showers, thunderstorms continue to work their way off to the east. A few leftovers there around Cuero, maybe Gonzales, and then a few sprinkles here and there. Some mist, not a big deal. And then we are going to be seeing more sunshine later on today. We do have some fog to deal with. Burning stage 4 miles visibility, 5 Port SA, Uvalde, Kerrville. So this will be a situation, again, with all the moisture in the ground, that's helping this out to see some of this fog. So that's what we'll be on the lookout for in the next couple of hours. The temperatures, mid upper 60s, about where it was yesterday, and still plenty of humidity. Actually, these numbers have gone up even compared to yesterday. Of course, we had that little bit of drier air that came in here in the morning hours. So yeah, humidity is definitely something we're going to be dealing with. Mold, no surprise there, is on the high side with all this moisture hanging around here. You know, keep an umbrella just kind of handy here and there. A few sprinkles this morning, patchy fog, 68 degrees, steady temperatures. We are going to make it up to the mid and some upper 80s later on today. A stray shower is possible, not likely at all, but it's going to be pretty hot, pretty steamy. Take this forecast, put it in tomorrow, same thing. Then Friday, we start to see more widespread showers. Then that heavier rain moves on in here. We'll see what we can expect overall throughout the weekend. Of course, Mother's Day forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. One person is dead following a crash on the city's northwest side that happened last night. It happened at Grissom and Old Grissom near Culebra Road, and that's where police say the driver of one vehicle crashed into another. Details are still limited, but officers on the scene say that the wet roads may have played a factor in that crash.
Bexar County Sheriff's Office is still looking for suspects responsible for killing cattle across the county because the killings are indeed related. At least 3 cows have been killed in separate parts of the county after they were shot last month. There have not been any more reports of cattle killings since then. Debt limit showdown continues this morning with the U.S. getting closer to what would be an unprecedented default.
President Biden met with top congressional leaders at the White House yesterday, but negotiations remain at a standstill. ABC's Lindsay Watts is in Washington with what a default would mean for all of us.
The U.S. economy and millions of jobs hang in the balance this morning, with neither side willing to blink.
I didn't find progress in this meeting.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy throwing cold water on hopes he and President Biden might reach a deal on the debt limit at a White House meeting Tuesday. The Treasury Department says a catastrophic default could be about 3 weeks away.
Everyone in the meeting understood the risk of default. Our economy would fall into a significant recession. It would devastate retirement accounts, increase borrowing costs.
Republicans in the House are using the debt ceiling as a leverage point. They say they'll only raise it if Biden agrees to deep spending cuts. Biden has said that's a non-starter, and he wants a clean bill that only raises the limit, like we've seen in the past, including 3 times under President Trump.
Speaker McCarthy offered a very different way forward. He's proposed deep cuts that I believe are going to hurt American families.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Social Security payments will halt. Troops will go unpaid. The stock market will plunge. Interest rates will spike. And by one projection, 6 million people could lose their jobs. There are talks about workarounds if Congress can agree to raise the limit. One idea, the U.S. Treasury minting a $1 trillion coin. Biden saying yesterday that's not on the table, but he revealed he is looking at using the 14th Amendment to raise the limit without congressional approval. But he concedes it likely won't be effective and will spark lengthy litigation.
That would obviously create a constitutional crisis.
The president says he'll meet with top congressional leaders again on Friday. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
A jury has found former President Donald Trump liable for battery and defamation in the E. Jean Carroll case. Carroll says Trump defamed her in a Truth Social post by calling her allegations a hoax and a lie. Jury members found that Trump did not rape Carroll but sexually abused her. The jury awarded Carroll a total of $5 million in the lawsuit. Trump's been accused of sexual misconduct by about 24 women and has denied all such claims. Carroll's battery allegation was the first to make it before a jury. Trump has vowed to appeal the decision.
Actor Jonathan Majors appears in court to face assault and harassment charges. Majors went before a judge in New York virtually yesterday, and Majors is accused of hitting a woman in her face during an incident back on March 25th. Now, according to the current complaint, he is also accused of pushing that woman into the side of a vehicle, injuring her arm and hand. Majors has denied the allegations. He recently saw his popularity in Hollywood rise with starring roles in blockbusters like Creed 3 and Ant-Man. His next court hearing is scheduled for June 13th.
Searchers have found the personal effects of 2 mountain climbers missing in Alaska's Denali National Park and Preserve. Still no sign of the climbers themselves. The 2 hikers in their 30s have not been seen since starting a climb on a 10,000-foot peak Friday. National Park Service says some of their equipment was found. They also found their vacant tent site with ski and boot tracks leading up into a small avalanche. Officials believe the 2 climbers likely fell on Friday while climbing.
Time now is 4:36 and 67 degrees for now.
Up next, why the ownership of the San Antonio Spurs continues to change.
And we're going to introduce you to the new head men's basketball coach, the University of Incarnate Word.
As I was coming into work this morning on Highway 281, it's damp at a few spots on the roads, but overall they are generally dry in the main lanes right now. But you might see puddles on those side streets and in parking lots, so just be careful.
Let's look out there with live cam, 67 degrees. You could say maybe the calm before the storm. We're expecting the real activity to happen on Friday, but we're going to check in with Mike for all those details coming up.
.440 ownership of the San Antonio Spurs continues to change. Aramark says this reached a deal to sell half of its ownership stake in the team for $100 million, according to a report from Sportico. Aramark CEO John Zillmer reportedly said in a call with Wall Street analysts that they sold approximately half their interest because there was a buyer who was working with the team to establish an ownership position. They also have no intention of keeping the other part of their ownership. In 2021, 6th Street bought 20% of the Spurs and Michael Dell 10%. It reported $1.8 billion valuation. Let's go to UIW, where Shane Hireman was introduced as the new head men's basketball coach yesterday. During his presser, he said he wants players with grit and nastiness. Coach is 34 years old, and one of the first things he did was hire former Spurs guard Jaren Jackson as one of his assistant coaches. Hireman coached Jaren Jackson Jr. in high school, and Jackson Sr. was an assistant on that staff. Now they are reunited at Incarnate Word.
There's so many people that have come through the Spurs, and it's impacting the world in basketball from a coaching perspective, and it's doing great things. And to be a part of that myself, it's a blessing. So, and hopefully I can bring a little Spurs way here to Incarnate Word and to Coach Shane, who knows my past and recognizes it, and he had a little taste of it with my son.
Jackson won the NBA title with the Spurs for their first one back in 1999 and scored 11 points in that title-clinching 5th game against the New York Knicks. UTS senior Cameron Carrion didn't let a rainy day and a 53-minute weather delay at TPC San Antonio Oaks course slow her down. Entering the second round of the NCAA San Antonio Regional at 1 under par, Cameron fired a 5 under 67 to sit at 6 under with a 4-shot lead heading into the final round later today. Cam will tee off from number 1 at 8:55 this morning. Hook's Mission baseball game at the Wolf was postponed by rain yesterday, so now the two will play a doubleheader on Saturday. They're also scheduled for a double dip this evening, starting at 5:05 p.m.
And time now is 4:42 and 67 degrees for now. Do you use Facebook or AT&T? There could be some money coming your way. Up next, what you need to do to be a part of some class action lawsuit settlements.
From grieving children's book author to accused murderer. Up next, why a Utah mother is now accused of poisoning her husband.
And welcome back. It's 4:45. A Utah mother who published a children's book on grief after her husband died is now charged with his murder. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, from grieving children's book author to accused murderer.
My husband passed away unexpectedly last year.
Authorities arresting Corey Richens, a mother of 3 this week, and charging her with first-degree aggravated murder. Investigators say in early March of last year, Corey poisoned her husband Eric. The 33-year-old then telling 911 she found her husband of 9 years lying unresponsive and cold to the touch at the foot of their bed. A medical examiner later finding Eric had 5 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl in his system.
Extremely common that when one spouse kills the other, they tend to leave a fairly easy trail for law enforcement to follow.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more details of what investigators are accusing her of doing and what comes next. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Idaho.
If you have AT&T cell phone services or a Facebook account, you may be getting a little extra cash soon.
Well, on your sides, Marilyn Morris shows us how to claim the rewards of some class action lawsuits and how much time you have to claim them.
Hello, Refund. If you used to have AT&T cell service, you may be due cash. The carrier agreed to pay $60 million to settle FTC claims that AT&T intentionally slowed data speeds, known as throttling. The deadline to file a claim is May 18th. You're eligible if you're a former customer with an unlimited plan at some point between late 2011 and June 2015. You experienced throttling and you've not already been paid. The estimated payout is $10 to $20. Used Facebook? Like this. The social media giant is divvying up a whopping $725 million to settle claims it improperly shared your data. You can claim a few bucks if you had an account between May 2007 and last December. That deadline is August 25th. And if you've cooked with Wesson Oil, listen up. ConAgra Foods settled a lawsuit claiming false advertising over the all-natural label. If you bought Wesson Oil's 2010 to mid-2017, you can file a claim. You won't get rich, but you could get $450. The deadline is May 22nd. None of these companies is admitting to doing anything wrong by settling these lawsuits. If you want to file a claim, you'll find the links on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Let's look at the roads with TransGuide, looking over at Loop 410 at Jackson Keller, where things are moving early this morning. So far, no problems that we see.
Let's get a rainfall update. We know it's in the forecast, and you guys keep evaluating what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis in the next 3, 4, 5 days.
And obviously, as you get closer to the time period, things can kind of, zoom in a little bit and narrow it down. And yeah, I think right now, looking at some of the latest computer model data, that it will be a late Friday night, overnight, and first part of the day into Saturday is when the heaviest is going to be there.
Which would be okay because a lot of folks will be home by then and hopefully not on the roads.
Right, but flooding's still going to be definitely a threat as we go into Saturday. And then even during the day, if you get more rain, obviously on top of that, and a lot of folks have had plenty of it already. So in many spots, the ground is very saturated. All right, beautiful sunset. A lot of folks saw a great sunset yesterday, and that is a gorgeous picture. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Starting off with a lot of clouds. You can see the glow around the street lights there, a lot of humidity. We do still have some showers, thunderstorms, all this obviously pushing off to the east. A couple of leftovers, stragglers there from Cuero, right around Gonzales. Heading out 10, you're going to run into maybe 1 or 2 of those. And then a little closer into town, stray sprinkle or two kind of hidden in with some of this clutter in around the radar site there. So yeah, one or two little sprinkles. That's going to be pretty much the extent of it. And then on top of that, obviously with all this humidity and all the moisture in the ground from the rain that we've had, we do have a couple of spots of some patchy fog. Bernie stage has dropped down to 2.5 miles right now for Uvalde, and we'll just watch this progress as the morning rolls on. It will get thicker at times. Mid-upper 60s, we're not that far, just a few degrees above normal as of right now. And dew point temperatures have actually gone up slightly from yesterday. So it's just adding to. And yesterday was kind of an anomaly when all those storms moved through. We got a little bit of some rain cool there, a little bit of a dry line that tried to slide on through here. Throughout the day, temperatures are going to be staying steady this morning. A little bit of patchy fog here and there. Still have that 20% chance for a stray shower to pop up, just to take into account something that may want to try and pop up, because it's not one of those situations where we just put a lid on everything today. But if anything does happen, it's going to be few and far between. 85 high temperature, and with all that humidity, yep, you'll feel every bit of that 85 degrees. So here's a computer model. This one takes all the rain getting on out of here. Really nothing, rain off to the east, but nothing in and around town other than a stray shower or two. Some mist drizzle tomorrow morning, and then throughout the day, not much. This is a long-range model, so again, it's that broad brush type situation. This one doesn't have a lot going on during the day on Friday. I think we will, though, have some showers scattered about here. But then what this does indicate is going into the evening hours, and then Friday night is when we start to see those pockets of the very, very heavy rain coming on in here. And that's going to be the situation into Saturday morning throughout a good chunk of the day Saturday, but especially I think that, say, 12-hour period between late Friday night, midday on Saturday. And once we get into Saturday night and Sunday, yes, we will still have some rain around Sunday morning, but what it's looking like right now is the really, really heavy stuff is going to be kind of tapering off. We'll just have the scattered variety of showers in and around the area through Sunday. But still, with the ground saturated, any little bit of rain may cause some flooding around the area. So 76 degrees, mostly cloudy skies today at noon, and then high temperatures are going to make it up to 85. Some sunshine, and well, stray shower just can't be completely ruled out. All right, going into the next 7 days. Today, tomorrow, pretty much identical. A little warmer tomorrow, mid-upper 80s, few 90s out there, and then some showers on Friday, and especially overnight Friday into Saturday, when we're going to be seeing the heaviest rain. And again, I think the first portion of the day Saturday doesn't mean we won't still have a couple of heavier downpours here and there, and then some of that heavier rain overnight, early Sunday, and then it sort of tapers off to the scattered variety during the day on Sunday, and even more showers around Monday, Tuesday. 70s for temperatures too, so that's not bad, but plenty of humidity out there. So,
okay.
And as we get closer, we will zoom in on the bullseye.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for that, just for plans and, everything going on this weekend.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
452, 67 degrees.
Up next, why country music star Morgan Wallen says he is not able to sing anymore right now.
The Muppets are back in a new musical show, plus why one of the top country music artists can no longer sing.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The mayhem? It's time to rock out with the Muppets, specifically Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The band featured in their very own Disney Plus show, which also has a bunch of guest stars. Chris Stapleton and Little Nas X talk about the band's influence on them. Dr. Teeth telling me how.
Yeah, well, if I had to hazard a hunch, Jason, I'd hypothesize that they're influenced by our consistent sound, our collective camaraderie, and yeah, that's right.
All episodes of The Muppets Mayhem are out today on Disney Plus. Disney's the parent company of ABC News.
I know that last night we let the liquor talk.
Morgan Wallen may have the top album and song in the country, but the country star can't sing. In a video on Instagram, he says he wasn't feeling right after a few recent shows.
So I went in and got scoped yesterday, and they told me that I re-injured my vocal cords and that I have vocal fold trauma. Their advice is that I go on vocal rest for 6 weeks.
That means a bunch of upcoming shows are being rescheduled, and all festival appearances will be canceled. He'll also be skipping the Academy of Country Music Awards this Thursday. Robert De Niro, once again on diaper duty. A rep for the 79-year-old confirming that the two-time Oscar winner has a new baby, his 7th child. No other info. De Niro's oldest kid is 51. And hopefully it's a beautiful day for Bono. It's his birthday. The U2 singer is 63 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So Morgan Wallen wound up canceling 6 weeks worth of shows, including, I'm told, at least one show here in Texas. I'm trying to find out when that date was, but I think it was perhaps in Dallas. Try to double check that for you. 457, 67 degrees.
And after more than 3 years, the immigration policy known as Title 42 is set to expire tomorrow. Up next, why some think it needs to stay in place and why President Biden says it's going to be chaotic for a little while.
That's why the search for a stolen machine gun here in Bexar County is not over just yet, despite an arrest made in that case.
Do you ever find yourself surfing the web for some health knowledge? Well, of course, not everything you read online is true. So ahead on GMSA at 6, we are going to explore some of the top health myths that people are still believing.
Okay, the Morgan Wallen concert was actually going to be in Austin on May 24th. So that will be rescheduled. Yes, I understand his team is very close to rescheduling all the shows that have been canceled. Right now, you're looking live at 410 to Jackson Keller. We'll talk to Stephen after the break.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A stolen submachine gun is still unaccounted for this morning here in Bexar County. How the sheriff's office is saying the suspect was able to get a hold of it.
Title 42 ends tomorrow. Just ahead, how the White House has promised to deal with the surge of migrants coming into the U.S.
The rainy weather is not over by a long shot. As a matter of fact, Mike Ostrage and our weather team are worried about flooding in our area as the week proceeds. Good morning, everybody. It is Hump Day Wednesday, May 10th. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We hope you've had a good week, even though it's been a little rainy here and there, and that will continue.
That's right. Mike, when do things get out of hand around here?
We're looking at late Friday, overnight into Saturday is I think when the heaviest rain is going to start to move in. Today, tomorrow, as I've been sort of saying all along, the theme is kind of the calm between the storms. We had some pretty good rain around the area yesterday. There is a couple leftover showers, especially off to the east. Going to show you radar in just a second. 68 degrees. The dew point is at 66, so that's actually up. Yesterday, of course, was a bit of we got that bit of a break, and dew points did drop down somewhat with some of those big storms that moved on through here, and we do have enough humidity out there for a patch or two of fog. I'll show you that in a second as well. 85 for a high temperature today. And as far as the aquifer, it did go down 0.3 of a foot. A little bit of a surprise there, but with all the rain in the forecast, hopefully that's going to get a nice big recharge, as well as some of the area lakes. Molds on the high side, little bits of grass, little bits of pigweed are showing up out there. This is what it looks like on radar right now. Line of storms well off to the east continues to work its way off to the east. That line does, and as you see, just a couple little leftover stragglers there. One right around, say, Gonzales. There have been a couple around Cuero, and continuing off east of Schulenburg. In behind, a stray sprinkle or two this morning. That's going to be the extent of that. Also, a couple of patches of fog. As a matter of fact, visibility continues to drop down now down to 1 mile just up I-10 in toward Bernie, 4 miles at Uvalde. Those are the thickest spots as of right now. Again, this will continue to change. Just 15 minutes ago, it was about 2.5 miles up there at Bernie Stage. So watch out for some of that fog, especially in the low-lying areas with all this moisture in the ground. Again, mid-upper 60s around the area, and the humidity, which is helping to feed some of these stray showers around here this morning. And that's going to be the case even later on this afternoon. You can't rule out a stray shower. Today and tomorrow pretty much going to be identical to each other. A little more sunshine in the afternoon. That's going to heat things up, mid and upper 80s. It's going to be steamy today as well as tomorrow. Friday, a little bit better chance for a few of those showers throughout the day. Then by Friday night late, that's when the heavy rain starts to move in here, and that's going to be the case overnight into Saturday, especially for the first portion of the day with that heavy rain. We'll still have showers, thunderstorms throughout the day and overnight. More widespread rain earlier on the day on Sunday, on Mother's Day, and then it's going to sort of break up a little bit, just become scattered. Still have plenty of rain around here on Sunday, so indoor plans are probably the best bet. How much rain can we expect? Take a look at that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, Good morning, sir. Anything going on?
Good morning, Mike. Well, we are looking a lot better this morning than we were yesterday, but let's get a quick look around town, see what folks can expect. A little bit drier out there, 35 at 37, not a bad shot from TransGuide, and even 37 at Jones Avenue shows some pretty quiet lanes in the north and southbound areas. But watch out, 37 at Fair Avenue. We have a few more folks out there this early in the morning. Keeping a close eye on things, but I haven't seen any major issues reported as of yet. There was one incident reported right here at 410 in McCullough earlier in the morning, a pretty serious crash actually, but that has already cleared out. Hopefully everyone is doing okay, but thankfully traffic for the most part is looking great out there. So perfect opportunity to take advantage of some of these quiet roadways right behind me. Still have a lot of that active construction, more on that a little bit later, but we can talk about some of the travel times if you plan on hitting the roads and heading to the Alamo City. The journey from Bernie along I-10 eastbound looks pretty good there, 24 minutes right now. 27 along 281 southbound if you're traveling in from Bulverde, so no need to hurry there. And it's not too awful from New Braunfels along I-35 southbound. We can expect about a 26-minute commute. So morning is shaping up to be quiet, but we'll see how things shape up as more folks get out on the roadway. 10 at Pro-Bent, east and westbound lanes are a little bit busy, but not bad at all. We'll continue to watch roads closely and have an update on some of those road closures coming up a little bit later on. Mark.
Thank you, sir. A woman accused of stealing a submachine gun from a Converse shooting range is now in jail.
This is the latest in the case. However, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office still needs the community's help. Our Sarah Costa joins us live to explain. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Mark. And that's because despite that arrest that was made late Monday night, that stolen machine gun still has not been found. But here's who was arrested on Monday. We first brought you this during GMSA Tuesday morning. 25-year-old Amber Herring was arrested late Monday for allegedly stealing the weapon from Lone Star Handgun in Converse. Detectives tell us Herring actually used her dead sister's ID during this theft. She is now facing charges related to theft and possession of a stolen firearm. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says more arrests could come. Now, Sheriff Salazar also says the search for the stolen machine gun is not over. This is the photo on your screen right now, the gun the sheriff's office is looking for. It's an MP5, and according to American Special Ops, the gun is capable of firing 800 rounds per minute. So if you have any information about where this machine gun might be, you're urged to call BCSO, that number 210-335-6000. Stephanie?
Thank you, Sarah. The future of Texas House Bill 2744 is still in limbo. It would increase the age for buying certain semi-automatic rifles from 18 to 21. And that bill has crossed a major hurdle after the House Safety Committee voted to move the bill forward. So far, we are waiting to see if the bill made it on the House calendar for debate. That deadline was 10 o'clock last night.
Now to the crisis at the border and some blunt words from President Biden last night.
There are just hours to go before the Trump-era border restrictions are lifted. And as ABC's Andrew Jimbert reports, to deal with the surge, the White House has promised stricter asylum rules and new processing centers.
This morning, hundreds of U.S. troops have arrived at the southern border, the first of 1,500 being sent by the Biden administration to help cope with the massive surge of migrants expected in the coming days. Migrants like this man who wiped away tears after finally reaching El Paso.
Is your crime because you're happy?
Tomorrow, COVID-era border restrictions known as Title 42 expire. President Biden last night was blunt, saying the problems at the border are about to get worse.
It's going to be chaotic for a while.
Border officials predict up to 10,000 people will try to cross the border each day, far more than the 3,500 they can comfortably handle. This video shows migrants trying to enter Mexico from Guatemala for the journey north. One congressman says at least 80,000, mostly Venezuelan nationals, are headed to the U.S. Places as far north as Chicago and New York have declared emergencies.
Well, it is a crisis situation. There'll be literally thousands of more individuals coming across the border and ultimately find their way up to the state of New York.
Back at El Paso, ICE agents are telling migrants living on the streets to pack up and get processed or face deportation. The enforcement operation was announced by Homeland Security in a press release. The Border Patrol Union slamming that move, saying nothing like publicly announcing that dangerous people will be arrested while warning them ahead of time exactly where to run and hide to avoid arrest. This entire operation is a sad joke. While many focus on the impact the surge will have on federal resources, others are sympathetic to those looking for a better life. This gas station owner in Brownsville, Texas, is giving migrants a chance to earn money washing cars.
It's really sad.
They leave their family behind, they have no money, they're hungry, and they're asking for a job just to get something just to eat.
To deal with the surge, the White House has promised stricter asylum rules and new processing centers in Latin America. But Arizona's governor, a Democrat, called the administration's response inadequate. She wants more funding for border towns. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Here at home, the San Antonio Brahmas will not be playing in the XFL Championship game this weekend, but the city of San Antonio will play host to the big game, and VIA wants to help get you to the Alamo Dome. Right now on our website, we've got everything you need to know about park and ride service. The XFL Championship game will feature the Arlington Renegades and the DC Defenders. Kickoff is Saturday night, 7 o'clock at the Alamo Dome. An interesting side story, Steph. Did you know that about 20 XFL players have been invited to camps with NFL teams for tryouts?
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big jump in the career. Yeah.
Pretty cool. And I mean, because there's never really been like kind of a developmental league for the NFL.
Well, that's great news for those players.
Big stepping stone, 5'10", 67 degrees.
Just ahead, we're going to tell you about two popular creative apps that Apple has finally added to the iPad.
The Peacock brings a San Antonio neighborhood, brings a San Antonio neighborhood together now that the birds have been relocated. Why Animal Care Services says what happened wasn't really its fault.
Let's look out there with a live cam. Starting at 67 degrees, a little humid out there, but maybe you're going to be out there for a while. A light jacket would be nice. We are expecting rain still, but right now it looks pretty clear. We're going to check in with Mike for all those details later on.
A peacock beloved by a San Antonio neighborhood will soon have a new home.
Animal Care Services removed the wild bird from Menke Park after someone claimed it was displaying threatening behavior. The Menke Park neighborhood is rallying to keep the peacock they know as Kevin or Mr. Blue in their community. And according to Animal Care Services, the bird pecked two young children visiting the botanical gardens last week. However, ACS adds no skin was broken, and in a statement it said some people were bothering the bird when it acted out.
I'm a mom too, and I know how scary it can be when your kid gets hurt. I have my kids out looking at him all the time, and he won't let them get close. When anybody gets too close, he'd run away. So this makes me think maybe he just didn't have anywhere to run to this time.
ACS tells us the bird will not be euthanized, but he will be taken to a sanctuary. Menke Park residents are now living with that decision, even though they say they've all made a bond with the bird.
Good luck, Kevin.
Yeah.
Or Mr.
Blue.
Yeah. 514, 67 degrees.
Up next, how Wendy's may soon use AI to take your drive-thru order.
Plus, what Google is expected to announce in a special developer conference later today.
I'm your overly competitive brother. Check. Psych. And I'm about to steal this game from you, just like I stole Kelly Carter in high school, huh? You got no game. Dude, that's a foul! And now you're ready to settle a score. Game over. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, well, you can end up paying for all this yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Thanks, bro.
Take a lap, rookie.
Real mature.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Sis, I'm turning into a mom.
The sweater vest.
No, my super soft skin.
See? Jergens Original Cherry Almond Lotion. Smooth.
Mom will be so proud.
You're like one big baby butt.
And happy Mother's Day. Jergens.
518, Google is holding its annual developer conference today. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details on what is expected in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Google's big annual event, the company holds its developers conference today. The company is expected to spend a lot of time on multiple new artificial intelligence products. The Pixel Fold phone is likely to be unveiled, and updates to the Pixel tablet are expected. Apple is moving two of its Pro Creative apps to the iPad. Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro have been available on Macs for a long time, but starting in 2 weeks, the software will be available on iPads. Subscriptions are $5 a month or $50 for a year. Finally, the Machine taking over the fast food drive-thru. Wendy's is turning to artificial intelligence. The chain is partnering with Google to test Wendy's Fresh AI. It's learning Wendy's menu language, such as Biggie Bag and Frosty, so it can take your order mistake-free. Computers taking orders. Talk about needing a bite to eat. Those are your tech bites. Have a great day.
No AI. Real person right there talking traffic.
Yes, we give you your traffic updates live here on KSAT 12. Just like your weather, you want to make sure you have your KSAT weather app downloaded, right?
Yes, and we've been saying this for the past couple of weeks with some of those severe storms that had popped up back then, and then especially coming up in toward this weekend. So, because you will get the alerts if something.
Exactly. It's same thing with traffic. We send you those push alerts, and thankfully right now we're not. There's no need to send any push alerts in terms of traffic because things have been moving along pretty nicely for the most part. 90 at Leon Creek, there's 37 at Southeast Military. It's always expected as long as there are not a lot of folks out there. The issues pretty much stay pretty at a minimum. There's 10 at Proband East and West. Not a lot of folks out there this morning, guys, but we take you to our map, and one of the big talking points, as always, will be the construction that we see in and around the Alamo City, and sometimes that takes us up toward I-10 in Kendall County. Now, this painting work started yesterday, but the work's going to continue and wrap up a portion of it at least later this morning. So keep in mind, if you're going to be heading out there 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, we'll see that work take place, and it's actually going to lead to the closure of the eastbound ramp to US 87. So that tends to lead to some big delays for folks out there, but always plan your commute ahead of time. Head over to ksat.com/traffic for a full list of all the closures. But thankfully right now, Mike, things are looking pretty quiet and dry there at 410 at McCullough, at least for right now.
Yeah, watch out for, a stray sprinkle or two here and there. That's pretty much all that's in the forecast. A shower perhaps this afternoon. Yesterday, we had some pretty good showers that moved on through the area sort of off and on. And then a little bit of sunshine came out and created a beautiful rainbow. And a lot of folks got a nice picture of the rainbow yesterday. Thank you very much for that. One of the great ones. You can almost see both ends of it. No pots of gold, though. All right, lots of clouds this morning, and once again, lots of humidity, which you can see the glow around the street lights, that little bit of haze right there along the horizon, and a couple little sprinkly showers out there in portions of the hill country. All the really, really heavy storms have moved way off to the east, and just, those few little scattered light ones out there. Maybe some mist around the area as well with some of this fog. Bernie Stage is at 1 mile visibility, and notice how that batch of fog is starting to kind of expand a little bit. Same thing over there in western portions of the hill country. Not bad around town right now, but it's kind of flirting with a little bit here and there. So that'll be something we watch out for. A lot of times it does get thicker as we approach sunrise. Temperatures are going to be staying steady this morning, and still got that 20% across the board for a stray sprinkle this morning. A stray shower here or there. Not going to be anything like what we had yesterday. As a matter of fact, we will have a bit more in the way of sunshine today, and that's going to get us up to 85. And with all the humidity, you'll feel every bit of that 85 degrees. All right, different computer model. This is one of those longer range computer models than the one I showed last half hour. Pretty much same solution. We are going to have a little more sunshine today. No real significant rain. Now this one tries to have a few more showers around tomorrow during the afternoon. Not really buying into that too awfully much. And again, this is kind of a broad brush, just that chance for some rain. However, we go into Friday, and yes, there is going to be a better chance for a few showers throughout the day. And then as we go into Friday night, that's when we start to see some of these heavier bands of rain and these heavier pockets of rain move in, especially in toward the hill country. And that will continue to work its way across the area. And this is the overnight hours into Saturday, and some heavy, heavy rain can be expected. And with the ground pretty saturated in most areas, this is why flooding is definitely going to be a threat throughout, especially the first portion of the day on Saturday. We'll still have some of those heavier pockets of rain and scattered thunderstorms around during the day on Saturday. But again, I think the most intense and the heaviest is going to be in that period from late Friday in through roughly midday Saturday. We'll still have some of these showers around overnight into Sunday morning, sun showers and a few thunderstorms. Couple of, you can't rule out a heavier downpour here and there, but again, the bullseye right now I think is going to be on Saturday morning. And Sunday, still a fairly wet day. Friday also, there is the threat for a couple of strong to potentially severe storms late. And then also, as far as rainfall, now it looks like the bullseye really wants to be out here in portions of the hill country. We're talking half a foot or more than that, but still all around the area. We're looking at some hefty rainfall amounts, and that's the total going now through the weekend into the first part of next week. 76, and again, the majority of that coming basically Friday night, Saturday morning. 76, mostly cloudy skies at noon today, and enough sunshine to get us up to 85, roughly a normal high temperature, plenty of humidity. Stray shower can't be ruled out. Same thing tomorrow, actually a little bit warmer. And then Friday, we'll have a few more showers throughout the day, and then that heavier rain starts to move in Friday night into Saturday. And yes, flooding will be definitely a threat. Especially, I think, parts of the hill country where a lot of the bullseye is. But, you know, those heavy downpours can't be ruled out everywhere at times with some of these storms, and that'll be the case on Sunday as well. But Saturday, the wettest day.
Okay, especially in the morning hours, Saturday.
Yeah, overnight and early morning on Saturday.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
By 24, 67 degrees.
Up next, a first look at Michael Keaton returning as Beetlejuice, plus a look at Meg 2, The Trench.
If today's entertainment report was a lotto game, the winning numbers would be 227.
CNN's David Daniel explains in our Hollywood Minute.
Showtime. Beetlejuice is returning to theaters. Warner Brothers has announced Beetlejuice 2 will open September 6, 2024. Director Tim Burton and star Michael Keaton are returning, with Jenna Ortega playing the daughter of Winona Ryder's character from the 1988 original.
3 massive Megs and who knows what else have escaped the breach.
I just hope it goes better than last time.
What happened last time? You don't want to know. Warner also dropped the first trailer for another sequel, Meg 2, The Trench. Jason Statham returns to face off against more massive, merciless megalodons when the follow-up to 2018's The Meg arrives August 4th.
It's grown quite a lot.
Robert De Niro could be talking about his family. The 79-year-old Oscar-winning actor announced he's fathered his 7th child. De Niro made the surprise comment in an interview with ET Canada. No details on the mother or the baby were available. His 6 other children are with 3 previous partners. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
528, 67 degrees.
The United States could soon run out of money. Up next, why lawmakers in Washington have not reached a compromise yet, and why it's so tough for both sides to make a deal.
Plus, you're finally paying less for some popular items online. Up next, which items are seeing the biggest drop in price? Making headlines this morning, time running out for the U.S. to raise its debt limit. But lawmakers in Washington still don't agree on how it should be done.
This is a political game they're trying to play instead of sit down and really negotiate.
By not taking default off the table, Speaker McCarthy is greatly endangering America.
Just ahead, when the U.S. could run out of money if nothing is done.
Look out there with live cam. Mike said earlier, this is kind of the calm between the storms. We are expecting more rain this weekend. We're going to check in with him right now.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, May 10th.
Thanks for joining us. How's your morning so far?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We had long days yesterday.
You did.
We were
Yes.
working on special projects. Didn't leave here till what, 1:30?
Yeah, it was.
That is a very long day.
It was a long day. They're rare, but they do happen from time to time.
Yeah. But
And there was plenty of rain around the area yesterday. Still, now that has pretty much moved on out. A couple of sprinkly showers still can't be ruled out. You know, a sprinkle here or there this morning, maybe a shower this afternoon, but nothing like what we had around here yesterday. And also, we're going to be heating up. Obviously, the clouds and the rain kept us on the cooler side yesterday, only mid 70s. And right now, we are starting off 68 degrees. Dew point is at 66, so that has come back up after that little bit of a break. And when you put those numbers so close to each other, you have relative humidities well up into the 90s, and with all that moisture out there, and not only in the atmosphere but also in the ground, you get some patchy fog around the area. Here's those couple of sprinkles that radar is showing out in portions of the hill country. Just enough to make the roads kind of damp. Visibility, Bernie Stage actually has come up a half mile right now at a mile and a half. 5 Kerrville, 5 also at Port SA. Got to be on the lookout for more of this fog to try and form up or thicken up in places throughout the rest of the morning. Mid-upper 60s all around, and yeah, everybody's got a fair amount of humidity. It's not It's not wet towel sort of humidity when you walk outside, but enough to where you notice it. And mold is on the high side. No surprise there. Low amounts of grass and pigweed. 76 today at noon, 85 high temperature. Again, we'll see more sunshine mixed in with a few more clouds out there, and a stray shower or two is possible. Same situation tomorrow. Then we'll see more rain Friday, and that's when late Friday night the heavy rain starts to work its way on in here. We'll talk about how long that's going to last, how much rain to expect, what's in store for Mother's Day as well. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, what's cooking on the roads?
Nothing too bad right now, Mike. Thankfully, things have been moving along just okay. You can see 90 at General McMullen, a little bit of a fuzzy shot there, but we are seeing traffic pretty light throughout a lot of these TransGuide areas. 281 there at San Pedro, you can see just maybe a few more folks are waking up early, getting the commute rolling already. But thankfully, there's no issues that are going to slow anybody down. But we're getting a little bit busier as we get closer to morning rush. We take you to our map, and it's thankfully still the same story here. A lot of that scattered construction, but plenty of open roads. No congestion detected, at least just yet. Let's take a look at travel times. If you plan on hitting the roads and heading to San Antonio, at least it's going to be about 29 minutes along I-10 westbound, but still in the green from Seguin. Right now, we're looking at about 33 minutes if you're traveling along 87 northbound from Lavernia, and for our friends down in Floresville, it should be about a 28-minute commute if you plan on hitting the roads. But let's get back another shot here at TransGuide 37 at Jones Avenue. Not really seeing any issues out there. Thankfully, the roads have been pretty quiet for now, but we're going to continue to track the roads very closely, and I'll have an update on gas prices coming up a little bit later on for any big road trips planned. Guys.
See you in a bit. Thank you, Stephen. The Consumer Price Index for April is scheduled to come out later this morning.
Many economists are expecting inflation will stay high as the nation's debt limit remains in political limbo. And as CNN's John Lawrence reports, if the U.S. breaches on its debt, the country could face an economic collapse and the loss of millions of jobs.
The U.S.'s debt ceiling drama is about to start a new chapter.
I know we have the time. I mean, we could do it easily but do we have the will?
President Joe Biden and top congressional leaders, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, had a 60-minute sit-down to address the financial threat Tuesday, but talks fell flat without a deal.
This is a political game they're trying to play instead of sit down and really negotiate.
While the White House wants the spending cap lifted without restrictions, House Republicans are pushing for their already passed Limit, Save, Grow plan that raises the ceiling $1.5 trillion, but cuts some domestic programs.
Americans are very concerned about inflation, and they're very concerned about their retirement. Both of those things are caused by massive government debt and massive government spending.
Biden and the leaders are scheduled to continue their talks on Friday, but the clock is ticking. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says if an agreement isn't reached, the U.S. could run out of money as soon as June 1st.
By not taking default off the table, Speaker McCarthy is greatly endangering America and making it much harder to make progress on budget negotiations.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, in other news this morning, former Fox media personality Tucker Carlson says that he will try to relaunch his TV show on Twitter. Carlson made the announcement in a video posted to the social media site. Carlson's former employer, Fox News, had no comment. Still, some anticipate legal action between Carlson and Fox over the move since he's technically still under contract despite his dismissal. Carlson says he chose Twitter because it's the last big platform that allows free speech, in his opinion. Twitter owner Elon Musk says there is currently no deal with Carlson.
For the first time, the FDA is considering allowing women to get birth control pills in the U.S. without a prescription. The Food and Drug Administration is wrapping up a 2-day meeting of independent advisors to help it decide what to do. The FDA advisors will sift through the scientific evidence and make a recommendation to the agency.
Well, back here at home, teens who spent time at the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio's East Side branch got a special surprise yesterday after school.
Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio to show us the refreshed space filled with games, TVs, and computers for teens to enjoy. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Steph. Really enjoyed seeing the reaction of the teens. That teen center at the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio's East Side branch was refreshed, providing a safe and fun environment for them. So just take a look. The company Aaron's is behind this $20,000 refresh. There is new furniture, arcade games, and gaming systems. This is the teen center where they come after school. They especially spend a lot of time here during the summer. The teens get to participate in a lot of different programs at the Boys and Girls Girls Club, and it's a place where they can do their homework, play games. Also, another new update includes their own kitchen area where they have an air fryer and microwaves. A new computer room is also included in that update. That's going to be used for educational purposes, and a place where teens can research scholarship opportunities. The Boys and Girls Clubs tells us the teens use this space as a safe space, a bully-free zone, and a place of nurturing. Mark and Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. 539, 67 degrees.
Great news. Prices are finally dropping for many products you buy online. We're going to tell you which items have seen the biggest drops.
Plus why Paramount says it's pulling the plug on MTV News.
And let's look out there with a live cam. A little humid and a little foggy in spots. Be careful out there, but no big rain yet. We're going to check in with Mike for all the rain details coming up. And welcome back. It's 5:42 in your morning consumer headlines. Paramount Media Networks announced it's pulling the plug on MTV News as it slashes its U.S. workforce by 25%. The division's president said in a memo to staff that despite the media giant's success in streaming, the company continues to feel pressure from broader economic headwinds. Now, the decision brings an end to the iconic music video of Network's news division. It once covered a range of issues from pop culture to politics and became a household name for Generation X and millennial adolescents.
Well, some good news this morning. Prices of online goods are actually dropping. New data from Adobe Analytics found prices for e-commerce fell nearly 2% in April compared to last year. According to Adobe, the biggest drop was in the appliance category. Computers, electronics, sporting goods, toys, and home and garden supplies also experienced significant deflation. This is positive development for consumers who have been grappling with higher costs thanks to 2 years of inflation. April also marked the 8th straight month of decreasing prices.
Time now is 5:43 and 67 degrees for now.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at a special pet that may be drifting off to sleep, just being held in our studio. We'll be right back.
Well, Nadia's here from the Animal Defense League with this little guy. Now I know what I look like when I look in the mirror in the morning, so I'm just kidding. You're very handsome, Lou. Who's this boy?
So this is Yoda. He is 12 years old, and he's a little bit of a terrier mix. But yeah, he's a senior boy looking for a home.
Okay, I don't mean to tease, but he's got great bedhead going on right there. So, and he is about to fall asleep right now. Just loves being held. Obviously, probably not the best dog for a family with a bunch of little kids. He just wants to kind of chill out and do exactly this.
Yeah, exactly. So we would actually recommend a senior. So we have a great program called Senior for Seniors, and our Empty the Shelters promotion is going on now. So this little boy would be have his adoption fees waived. But he does come with a +1, and that's his brother Oliver. So he is with a bonded pair.
So they have to go together.
They have to go together.
And, but both of them are for the Senior for Seniors.
Senior for Senior program, and yeah, waived fees.
You know, and the nice thing is, if you were to go away, they could take care of each other, keep each other company, and they're pretty much going to be
couch potatoes,
kind of like having one dog, as quiet as these guys are. So, well, if you'd like more information on little Yoda over there or all the other dogs, the Senior for Senior program, Empty the Shelters, head on over to 11th here in Nacogdoches, Paul Jolly Center across from the zoo, PetSmart at Four Winds, or adltexas.org. Thank you, dear.
I think I just met my spirit animal.
Yeah, Yoda's very chill.
Very, very chill. 5:47.
Let's check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Well, we're keeping it chill over here too, guys. Thankfully, there's no issues that are being reported from TxSAT as of yet, but let's get a quick look at your commute. If you plan on heading to the airport, things should be in the clear for you there. Not a lot of folks out in that particular shot, but remember, 281 at Hildebrand, you got to slow down as you approach that curb. And thankfully, we're not seeing any issues here at 90, but it does look a little foggy out there. We're going to watch these roads closely, but I'm not seeing any major issues reported as of yet. We've been talking about a lot of construction, but something I haven't talked about in quite a while are some of those gas prices. We know a lot of people may be traveling for the upcoming Mother's Day weekend, so let's take a look at what you can expect if you may be planning on heading out in the next few days or so. Right now, as of today, AAA does report that the average gas price in Bexar County is $2.95. And around the state, we're looking at $3.06. And according to AAA around the country, we are seeing a $3.53 gas price. But I also was reading some information. Texas is actually reported as one of the least expensive markets in the country. $3.06 doesn't sound too bad in comparison. But, obviously a lot of folks are going to be fueling up, heading out in the next few days or so to go see mom. So just remember to drive safe and know what to expect when you head to the gas pump.
We like that it's cheaper here in Texas.
Yes.
We'll take it.
That works. Yeah.
Okay, besides a little fog, watch out for a couple little sprinkles here and there. And then we got a few showers off to the east, which is no big surprise, really. We're not going to have a repeat, though, of yesterday. This is the sort of the lull period, if you will. Saw some showers yesterday, some pretty good thunderstorms, and beautiful sunset. A lot of folks, saw a picture like that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for the KSAT Connect picture. And you can see that little bit of kind of fuzz off there in the distance, the glow around the street lights with all the extra humidity hanging around here. Here's what's showing up on radar right now. The heavy storms way off to the east continue to move on out there, but notice how just in the past about 15 minutes or so, all of a sudden we've got a few of these spots that have popped up here around Cuero, Yorktown, Kennedy, everything sliding up to the northeast, and even just to the south right there in southern Wilson County, that one little spot there. So a decent little brief shower is what can be expected with some of these that have, like I said, tried to pop up here and there. Stockdale, a couple of them as well. And then further off to the west, we've got just a couple of these light little sprinkly showers here and there. But these off to the east obviously are continuing to work their way off to the east. Over there by Gonzales, got a couple of them as well. So again, one or two leftover showers, and that's pretty much the extent of it. We do have some fog that is showing up right now. Burning stage, though, has improved as far as visibility up to 3 miles for Kerrville, Uvalde, a little more further out in western portions of the hill country. There's the 20% chance for one or two of those light little showers out there, some patches of fog as well, mist, drizzle, a couple of sprinkles. We will see more sunshine later on today. Still, you can't rule out, like we're seeing this morning, one or two showers popping up here, and then 85 high temperature today, a very steamy 85 degrees. All right, long range computer model, once again, going in through the next couple of days. Nothing really today other than a stray shower. This one has a couple of them around during the day tomorrow. Yeah, you can't rule it out, but very few and far between. Again, these kind of paint with a broad brush. However, Friday, we do have a better chance for a few showers throughout the day, and then going into the evening hours, that's when we see this kind of the brunt of the rain moving on in here, especially in parts of the hill country. We'll have some of those heavier downpours mixed in. Some very heavy rain can be expected late Friday, overnight into early Saturday morning, and just right around sunrise as well. Then we will continue to have pockets. I think the heaviest is going to be in the morning, but pockets of thunderstorms here. Yes, a couple of decent downpours, and that's going to be the case going in through the rest of the day Saturday. Sunday morning, overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning as well. However, things are going to continue to kind of ease up. Again, broad brush around here, still a few thunderstorms on Sunday. Morning hours, more rain. Afternoon, it's going to taper a bit. Now, as far as severe weather, there is the threat, because we still have a very volatile atmosphere Friday night for a couple of those stronger storms around here. And again, we are looking at between now and the weekend and the first part of the week, 4 to 6 inches, and then some of those pockets of heavier rain in parts of the hill country. So yeah, the majority of that will be overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. Forecast today. A couple of showers here and there. We got a few of them this morning. Not a big deal today, 76. But again, the ground's saturated, so you get one of those little showers, decent little downpour. Watch the low water crossings. And then a high temperature today up to 85, stray shower or two around here. Steamy 85 degrees. Tomorrow, pretty much same situation. Then Friday, better chance for a few showers during the day, and then Friday night, of course, things really start to get going, and it's going to be Friday night, early Saturday morning with the brunt of that really heavy rain, heavy downpours. San Antonio West is going to be, just to really kind of pinpoint things, the heaviest around here into the hill country, and then Sunday we'll still have some leftover rain in the morning, scattered variety in the afternoon.
It's a little calmer on Sunday.
A bit, yes, especially later on in the day if you got Mother's Day plans later on. But Saturday morning, we're going to definitely have to be on the lookout for things.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
5:53, 67 degrees.
Up next, the book club. Ladies are back and wedding bells are ringing. We're going to show you the newest look at the book club, the next chapter.
Here are your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 608. Fireball 0. Daily 4 numbers 8028. Fireball 7.
Cash 5, 5, 14, 17, 24, 34. And your Mega Millions, 4, 37, 46, 48, 51, Mega Ball 19, Mega Plier 3. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up here on a Wednesday, writer E. Jean Carroll is here talking about winning her civil case against former President Donald Trump after a jury found him liable for sexual abuse and defamation. Also an ABC News exclusive with the mother of the 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher. And could a birth control pill soon be available over the counter? What's on the table for the FDA this morning? You'll see those stories and so much more right here on GMA.
Major character, especially the way it's photographed.
Yeah.
It's beautifully photographed and just sumptuous. And it was a delight to be shooting in Italy for 2.5 months, no less.
We still have that energy, but it's Rome. So you get a second wind and, you know, you have to try the different restaurants. It was just so much fun.
I like wedding veil on and a big sash across me. That was weird because we really were walking through the streets of Rome and people would look at it.
Well, this is a bachelorette party, so you know what that means.
It means that we go see naked men. What's the protocol here? Where do I stuff the dollar bills?
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Ahead in the next hour, GMSA, the FDA is expected to vote today on a decision that could change the way Americans get birth control. Still ahead, many people find themselves searching for answers about health through the internet. We'll take a look at the most common health myths. Plus, the latest surrounding a bill for stricter gun laws in Texas. Sarah Costa standing by with what's next for House Bill 2744. And TransGuide taking a look at 281 in San Pedro. We'll talk to Stephen after the break.